name's Mary Salzman, and I am the National Marketing Manager for Criminal Justice. MyCJLab is going to launch in July, and we have it for 4 course areas. It's Intro to CJ, Corrections, Criminology, and Policing. So the layout of all these MyLabs is book-specific. So for each title that we publish in those course areas, you're going to have a specific MyLab. But the layout's the same. So I'm going to walk you through the demo content for our brief Intro to Criminal Justice title by Schmoliger. I just want you to see the functionality that's here, and just know that everything is text-specific.
Okay.
So I am at my course homepage right now, and when we log in for the courses, it's nice because no matter how many courses you're running through MyCJLab, you use the same login, same username and password for your instructor resources and all of the data you're providing to your students as well. And it's the same for students. If they're taking another course that has a MyLab, it's all one login for everything that they access. Now, we're here on our course homepage. So on the right-hand side, you see our announcements, if you wanted to make a class announcement, anything upcoming in the next 7 days. So anything from the assignment calendar will feed directly here, so students won't miss anything that's coming up on them. And then for review is a place where if students submit something to the instructor that they have to physically grade, then it'll be the instructor gets a notification that students have submitted something. So that way nothing falls through the cracks for students or instructors. It'll all pop up to them on that homepage right there. We have below here in the center this little activity. It's kind of like Facebook, updating your status. You can have students do that as well, or the instructor, to whatever you're working on maybe. That's also something that the instructor can disable if they like. So everything in here you can modify as the instructor. You can tailor to however you want to teach your course, and whatever content you want students to see, it's completely up to you. So I'm going to break this down to the course content, and you see our chapters are listed out here. So what's really nice about MyCJLab is that it's all slotted for you where you should be assigning things. So it takes the burden off the instructor from going to have to go through all these question banks to create their own assignments. They're already created there for you. So with each chapter, we have 4 core items. Those are read, review, apply, and analyze. So we've got our objectives listed for Chapter 3, and when I click on the Read tab, it's going to pull up just Chapter 3 in my ebook. So you can get the MyLabs with or without the ebook. So if you have the ebook purchased for this course, it would pop up in a new window. And the ebook isn't linked in our demo, but it includes all the functionality that you see in the ebooks today. You can do a search through it, highlight, take notes, and print pages
like
as well.
Instead of the student having to go like to Course Smart to log into it, it would actually be
right here
where they could get to it directly.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
And the assignments in here will actually link back to the ebook pages, so it saves students from even searching. And I'm going to show you that here in a second.
Okay.
But when we come into review, there's material for students' self-study. There's this whole study plan that they can do themselves. We always recommend instructors tie any activity to points in the class. In our study plan here, the student's going to receive a pre-test and a post-test. So when we go ahead, you're going to see all of our objectives for this chapter listed right out here. And I just click to start my pretest. And the pretest is populated with multiple choice questions, and there are 2 multiple choice questions for every objective that was listed. So I would go ahead, take my pretest, and then it's going to give me the immediate feedback that students need. And it tells me, read page 60 of your e-text because I got this question wrong. So I'll actually be able to link out in the ebook option to that page specifically to reread that material. So you see it's pointed out for anything that we got wrong. It'll tell us exactly where to go. It's really meant to save students studying time so that they're not just reading the whole chapter anymore. They're really given direction on what they specifically need.
That's excellent, because I have a lot of students that I know would do that, would like to go directly to, review what they missed. So very cool.
Yep. So now, and then here it breaks us down by objective. So it tells me for these first 4 objectives, the pretest indicated that I need improvement. And you can see it's already assigned to me, and I can just go directly to that material to study. And below that, you see these 3 at the bottom here, I'd perform well on, but I can still review that content if I want. But say I'm going to go to this 3rd objective here, and it would pull up the pages 61 and 62 in the e-text, or I can just click on review, and then it's going to allow me to download the PowerPoints that are specific to that objective. But our new interactive PowerPoints, we actually partnered with a design company to build them. So rather than seeing bulleted lists on all the PowerPoints, they're really visually oriented, and they include teaching tips for instructors, lecture notes here below on the instructor side. But rather than students just copying down everything they see on the PowerPoint, it really allows the instructor to lead a discussion around the images. But everything is tagged. Yeah, you can see it says 3.3 on each of these slides, so we know exactly what objective this is covering. So when the student goes to it from their study plan, it'll pull up just the ones that they need to review. So again, it's that directed study for students. I'm going to click to go back to my results, and it says which objectives I've completed now, and I can just go ahead and start my post-test. And the post-test are all new questions, but again, 2 for every outcome. So I can go ahead, submit the post-test, and it's going to give me my score here. So the student has 2 opportunities. They can take the pre-test, then take the post-test, and really see how they've improved, hopefully. And we can see that we've completed every single objective. And everything that they do in here does flow back to the instructor grade book, which is going to be like your Excel-based grade book with scores. But we also have this performance tracker, and this is where the real power comes in behind the assessment tracker. We're able to pull up by objective and see exactly where we're assessing our students and how they're performing. There are 3 tabs here. There's class achievement, student achievement, and outcome analysis. So you see for this first one I have pulled up, every single objective is listed out, and it shows me here on this chart exactly how students are performing, and it's all color-coded. So if it's green, they got between 90 and 100%, yellow, 80 to 89, and so on. So it's a great way to kind of do a spot check, and you see where there's a lot of this red here. That might be an objective you want to recover with the students, because 11 of them are performing less than a 70% on objective 1.3. So you can easily stop and see which objectives are giving them the most problems. And then we have our averages on the right-hand side. So you'll see that for every objective. And everything feeds directly into here because everything is tagged to outcomes. For the individual student, then, you can pull it up and see how they compare to the class average and how their individual performance is on each of these objectives. The outcome analysis shows us where we're assessing our students. So it'll pull up just for this one outcome here, 1.2. It tells us our overall performance, so the whole class snapshot. And then we covered this outcome on the study plan and on the first assignment. So we can see that listing out for each of those different assignments. We also have the full PowerPoints right within here if the student wanted to download the full deck. Chapter summaries, and those are taken straight from the text, and flashcards.
I have a lot of students that actually use those, so that would be great. And they're always asking me for the PowerPoints. That would actually be extremely useful.
Now, in the applied portion, we have simulations. Have you ever seen Criminal Justice Interactive or Criminology Interactive?
I have seen Criminal Justice Interactive, and I have been trying to get it adopted here for quite a while because it's an amazing product.
So we took the simulations, slotted them to the appropriate place within the chapter content, and created new simulations. So every chapter that you're going to come across has some simulations. And we had these products already for intro and for criminology, but we also created brand new sims for policing and corrections as well. So we're really excited about those, and I know you've already seen them. But I have a lot of fun with them. You get to read interesting cases and selecting the jury. That's another one that I like. Running these simulations within the classroom environment could be a fun activity, too.
I tried in the classroom to see, and the students loved it. So.
Yep.
That's why I've been pushing them.
Now it's just part of this whole program, too. So we can just go ahead and start our simulations right through here. And this one, it looks like we're the prosecutor and have to do whether or not we want to prosecute. And again, it gives students that immediate feedback that, I mean, they regret that now. If they don't have the answer immediately, they start stressing out. So they'll get that immediate feedback right here, a chance to redo it. So they'll get 2 attempts, and everything, again, flows back to your grade book. So you'll see a simulation, at least one for every single chapter within this content. The fourth item for our chapter content are analytical questions, and there are 5 different styles here, and each one actually includes a grading rubric for instructors. Do you have your students do a lot of written assignments?
We try to mix it up a little bit, so they're trying to do a little bit of each. But we've been a big push on grading rubrics, so that would be extremely useful.
I'll show you here just the way students are going to get it. They would just click to begin their exam, and they get the question, and they can actually submit it straight through here in this box. And then it feeds into your submission as the instructor, so you'll see that. But under our course resources here, we have the grading rubrics for the 5 different styles of questions that you're going to encounter. And those are compare and contrast, field interviews, news, real world, and research. So of the styles then, we can just pull up one of these rubrics here. Then you could actually download and edit and re-upload if you wanted to. But they're all explained right here. So then this makes consistency across different sections to make sure that everybody's grading these papers against the same terms. And it gives students a really good idea about what instructors are actually looking for.
Very, very useful, and I share this with our Director of Curriculum and Innovation and show, because that has been the big push, is to create rubrics. And if we had a product like this, I think it would save the instructional designers a good bit of time in rubric design.
In addition to the grading rubrics, we also have links to careers in criminal justice. I don't know if your students have a good idea about what they want to do when they graduate, but we link out to 78 different career profiles. There'll be interviews with people, all the links that'll show them what they can expect to earn, what's required, career direction that they may be looking for. So that's all within here. For each discipline, we do something unique, and we survey a lot of criminal justice instructors to find out what they wanted before we built something. And we heard that a lot of them were spending a lot of time researching current media to bring into the classroom. So we created CJ Search, and CJ Search is a database of media. It's news, journals, videos from YouTube or National Geographic. We can filter it by topic and subtopic, and also do a generic search too. I can browse and I can drop it down by topic. So if I was teaching a corrections course today and wanted to talk about jails, I can just pick up that topic, go ahead and see what this video is about. It gives me a brief description, the learning outcome it's correlated to, and some discussion questions around it. I also see the date it was filmed, the length, and an average rating system. The rating system's pretty cool because I can actually, as an instructor, filter by rating. I can see what instructors around the country are giving high ratings to. So it's a great way to see what you might want to incorporate into the classroom. So this is getting a high rating. I can go ahead and check this out here. Now this is from YouTube, so it'll play directly within CJ Search. I can, of course, expand it to full screen if I wanted. And if this is something you like, you can just click to add it to your favorites. You can also assign items to students, which is pretty unique to actually assign them videos where they have the direct links to and the questions are already created. So I can just click to assign this to students. And at any time, if you wanted to add your own links, you can just click New Links and go out and add those to CJ Search. And then what happens is instructors who are maintaining this website for us and adding new links every day, so they would go ahead and tag that to the learning outcome, and then also create discussion questions around it, and then release it to all the users of CJ Search.
I like this. This is a time saver for instructors. You know, and they have to go to YouTube and search there, then go through it and look through it to try to find what you're wanting, and this saves a good bit of time.
Here I can just search if I'm covering drugs. I just put drugs in it, and it's going to pop up everything that's tagged to drugs. But yeah, we really think that this is going to get a lot of use and save instructors a lot of time. And sometimes, I mean, the links can go dead online if you had your favorite websites that you go to. Sometimes you go and the content's changed, and it's just frustrating. You got to make sure everything's still there at the start of the class. So we're basically doing that for you. Now, those are all the aspects within MyCJLab.